All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of the RnRGzrs show. As always, please subscribe and like a video or two if you could, and enjoy us on all the podcast platforms as well as YouTube and Rumble, of course. And my co-host, if he's like me, he used to rock and roll all night, party every day. But now, we're geezers, so we rock and roll all day between naps and we sleep
Yeah,
at night. And that would be my
yeah.
co-host, Doc Fox. What's happening, Doc?
Oh, doing quite well, sir. Happy Halloween.
Yes, yes, yes. According to my picture behind me, yes, it is
Yeah.
indeed Halloween. All the little witches and goblins and Lord knows what. Gonna be jumping around today,
Yep.
grabbing treats from all of us. Wow. I can dig it. I can dig it. I have many good fond memories of that. But I tell you what, Doc, holy cow, we got a lot of news this week. We
Boy,
need to
yeah.
jump right into it here. It's pretty
I was looking
amazing.
at this. I'm thinking, yeah, we got a good show this week. I'm feeling there's a lot of good stuff. Then we'll get into the unfortunate death of one of the pioneers. So
Sure
yeah,
enough,
let's jump
man.
right into it, man.
Okay, right out of the gate, here they are again, Motley Crue. We've been talking about them for weeks, and the inevitable happened. We knew it would. We knew it was coming up. Motley Crue, Mick Mars, he's retiring from gigging, although I'm sure musically he'll be very involved still
Right.
off the stage. But they have indeed they announced just a couple of days ago that they are indeed having John Five join the crew for their touring. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. The rumors and speculations have been pretty heavy. And John Five, there was a post we referred to it on a couple episodes back where somebody in social media had asked him, and he said the rumors weren't true. But I guess he has since deleted that exchange on
Yeah,
the social media. But yeah, I think everybody kind of knew the writing was on the wall. So yeah, Mick, man, 71 years old. It's got the ankylosing, I'm sure AS. We'll call it AS.
right.
Very painful, degenerative disease, and yeah, everybody kind of saw that the end was near for him, and Motley wants to keep going, so he's still a
Yeah.
part of the band. He's still a member of the band, but he's just not touring with them. And as a article with Nikki Six, he says, John Five checks all the boxes,
Yep.
and
He,
indeed he does, man. He's
he
he's yeah,
quote, he's an insane player, has respect for our music, is funny as F, and has history with us, and we've written some pretty big hits together. Well, that right there tells you they're,
oh yeah,
they groove good, they got a groove going. So more power to them, man. What the heck? If they're gonna keep going, they picked a good guitarist because he's so good. He's just so good. So
he
it is what it
he's
is.
played with everybody. He really has. I mean, from just everybody. He started off. Who discovered him? Rudy Sarzo. If you
Rudy
remember
Sarzo,
Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot, and then
bass
it was
player.
with
Yep,
the first Ozzy band,
yep.
and they had a project that never quite got off the ground. And then, but he kind of got his foot in the door and kind of got him known a little bit. And then he was in David Lee Roth band, and then kind of went from there. Marilyn Manson
Uh,
and Rob Zombie, and
yeah, yeah.
guesting on tons of people's stuff. And
He's got
uh,
mad respect amongst his peers.
yeah, for sure.
He really, really does, and that says it all, man. When you can get that, you got it going on.
I mean, he's even played with like Rod Stewart and Katie Lang and people like that. So yeah,
Wow,
it's
dig that.
yeah.
Another one who, of course, well, this isn't so much a guy as it is
I
an
mean,
organization, Ozfest. Now, this is a very bizarre, I've seen, I went to two Ozfests, took my youngest with me to get him involved in the metal scene. Saw some great, saw Lemmy when he was alive, Slayer, just, Iron Maiden, just saw all of them. Just crazy good. But they're launching, they're doing a metaverse Ozfest. Is that what I'm told to believe?
Well, I mean, obviously we've known Ozzy's not up for a tour. He's not up for anything like that. So I guess his idea is he hooked up with this outfit called Decentraland, I guess, and they've already
Yep.
done one Metaverse music festival. They did in October 21, and it was a lot of DJs, a lot of that kind of stuff, and
Right.
but I guess it was fairly popular to the point that MTV even has the MTV Awards for whatever awards. I haven't watched that in 30 years, but they have an award now for the metaverse category. So apparently it's a thing. I don't know, but
Well,
they hooked up with Ozzy and they're going to do Ozfest that way. And I guess they got like 100 bands already lined up, and more to come. And I don't
not.
know. We'll see
Jeez.
how it pulls off. But
Yeah, I'm not big on the metaverse. Neither is
no,
anybody else.
no,
So they
no, it's anybody else. No.
Meta itself, the organization's lost about, was it 400 billion or seven
Well, that's
hundred billion
Facebook.
dollars
Yeah.
in value. He's betting a lot on the metaverse, and people don't seem to want it, as much as he hopes they do, because people want
Well, I think
they want
it's
human contact for
well,
crying out
obviously,
loud,
like we said, I think Ozzy's probably seeing it as a way for him to
to
do
be able to
something.
play. Yeah,
Yeah, to do something.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So
it's like, yeah, I
in
don't know.
his case, is it a better than nothing kind of situation? Or
Yeah, more
I
probably.
yeah,
At some point you can retire, Oz. You kick that.
never.
I'm never gonna retire ever. Sharon, give me a back rub. Just be careful around the neck. One of them deals. But jeez, no, I'll pass. Here's a funny one. Jeez almighty. Ivan Moody. Five
Oh
finger death
no,
punch. Yes, boy, oh boy. What drama? What
I
drama?
feel so betrayed. My
Yeah.
my emotions have been toyed with.
Oh
Oh
boy.
my gosh.
Yeah, well, Ivan Moody, lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch, came out a few shows ago with his
Yeah, it's
kids
very
on
recent, two,
stage.
3 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah, saying, I've had enough of this crap. I'm doing one more album, and then I'm gonna go home with my kids, and the kids are there. Oh, gee, Dad, that's great and whatnot, and oh, gee, that's fabulous. And we figure it's because he's been compared to the Plaid Boys. What are they? What's the band I compared it to? I
oh, the
don't
Bay
even
City
know.
Rollers.
The Bay
Yeah,
City Rollers. Anyway, yeah, yeah. So he says, "Oh, I'm doing one more album, then I'm getting out of metal." When we speculate, he's a country fan, so maybe he's going to country. But
right.
now he's backtracking again. Here we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He announced that he planned to retire, but now he's totally backtracking. And in a new video, he apologized for his impulsive, quote unquote, retirement comments and assured fans that he isn't going anywhere. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
he,
for
he
for,
don't
for
know
some
what
of
he's
you,
doing.
if you've been keeping up with us, we saw them earlier this summer, and we panned their concert pretty good, I guess. We did just not our thing, man. Just I
Yeah,
don't know, man.
no, it
I
just
just
wasn't.
just I
But
don't know.
yeah, yeah. Well, I have a feeling, it's one of those Tom Brady deals where he went home and had a deal with Giselle and the kids for that long. Said, "Hell, I'm getting back to football. Enough of
Well,
this crap."
what I had heard was he went home and the kids didn't even know that was coming. Like I don't think perhaps even the wife didn't know that was coming. And then
Really?
once he said it, they're like, "Dad, no, no,"
Get the hell out of
And
here.
yeah, yeah, this is what you do. Stay out there and do metal. So
Oh
he's had
boy.
change of
Well,
heart.
whatever. Hopefully
You
they
know,
won't. Jeez. Whatever.
his character. It always cracks me up. I always have to bring it up. His character Zoltan. He calls himself Zoltan.
Oh
And of course,
yeah.
he talks in Zoltan, and is that the third person still? I guess even
Okay,
though it's
Ming.
the
Okay,
character.
Ming. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
Ming the merciless.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was saying Zoltan deserves. Zoltan
So,
deserves for
third
me to come
person.
back. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Oh, geez, that's just
Zoltan
good.
deserves my best. It's like, oh, jeez.
Oh,
So,
he
yeah, our
may
dreams
have.
we thought were answered, but
Well, here. Well,
unfortunately,
hang on. Let me
we'll have to deal with them a little longer, I
see.
suppose.
He said, my bandmate, my bandmates deserve better. Zoltan deserves my heart and has earned my respect
There you
time
go.
and time again. He may as well be my blood. You deserve the best. There is no question about that.
So there he is,
What a
talking about
douche.
how cool he is.
What
yeah.
a douche with a capital D, man. This guy, I can't even stand him. Just looking
Oh,
at his
man.
face, just want to punch him in the face. Oh my
Oh,
god.
jeez.
I think he's on top of my most hated list right now. I think he's my guy,
Oh,
man.
Zoltan. Or he may
Oh my
he
god.
may actually end up on next year's schedule too. Who knows? They may let him
Oh
back for
my
next
god.
year's concert summer series.
No, I
Jeez.
hope they're
Let's hope not,
off in
my
Europe or
friend.
something. Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
hope not, my friend.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
good one
hopefully.
here. Here he is back in the news again. There he is. Jeez.
Oh yeah, a
Bruce.
little backlash from our story last week. Yeah.
Little backlash. Well, yeah, we have a couple of them that are really not happy about it. Hate Breeds, Jamie Josta called out Bruce Dickinson for berating the fans for smoking weed, and
Right. Right.
as well he should. Oh man, yeah.
If you remember the story last week, it was in Anaheim. I didn't know at the time, but yeah, it turned out it was in Anaheim, and Dickinson had chastised fans for smoking weed, and the bass player can't stand it, and I can't stand it.
Oh, here's the quote. Here's
Yeah.
the quote. Let's get with it. Let me see. I don't know what it is, the singer told the crowd as seen in a viral video on YouTube. There's so many effing people smoking so much effing dope down here. I'm amazed you can even see. Poor old Steve Harris. I don't know if you know, but is absolutely effing hate marijuana and the smell of it. All right. So when he's trying to play bass, it F's him up. It F's me up. I'm a singer. All right. So I would just ask for a tiny bit of respect, he added. If you want to go get completely stoned out of your effing mind, go to the back and do it. All right? Otherwise, you're going to end up like this effing knucklehead here.
That's the idea. Yeah, it's exactly the idea. I want to end up like that knucklehead right there. Yeah. Oh my god. Man. Yeah, we talked about how that band owes their fanship to stoners. I mean, that's their base is stoners, and for
and then Devil Driver.
Devil
Driver came out. Devil Driver's Des Fafara call out. So all these cats are saying what you're saying. Crying out loud. This is your fan base. What are you doing, you dope? God almighty. So they're all after his ass as well. They should.
Well, I thought he made a point I thought was interesting was you're at their house. You're the guest at their house. He acts like it's his. Kind of. I thought that was an interesting take.
Yeah, you came into our town.
Yeah.
If you want to play here, deal with it. Otherwise, hop on your big plane and take off.
Yeah, he's just
oh boy, come on, Bruce, chill out, man.
Devil Driver, that'd be imagine if you have to go to hell, that'd be an alright job to have, Devil I suppose.
Drive.
Driving the devil around, and I don't know, I don't know where he goes, certain areas of hell, I don't know, but
that'd be something to look into. Speaking of Iron Maiden, how about these cats they got? They're so they ended the tour, their fall 2020 tour, October 27th. But no, they're not slowing down. They lost a couple of years, and they're gonna just keep on going, man. So there you go.
It amazes me that so many of these older bands. I mean, now that we're getting up there in age, you realize, these guys are our age, my age anyway, a little older than I am, and I just can't imagine. Man, the tear and what it takes to physically do a tour like that is just so many bands are doing it. More power to them. God bless them.
Yeah, the Future Past tour is what they're calling it, and it's going to continue into 2024. So they have just begun. That's
Oh my
amazing.
God.
That's real. Wow, that's really crazy. Because yeah, you're right. That just takes a toll on it. It just has to really. Unless you get time to maybe sightsee or whatever. Like Steve Hackett's band, they always get time to go sightsee the city they're in. But
Well, that would be the
even
way to
then,
do it. Yeah, yeah. Some of these bands, play a date, take a couple of days off, play another date,
yeah, that's what you got to do, man. Because boy, that's brutal. So good for them. Yeah, wow, that's just crazy. Another sort of a sad situation here. Jane's addiction. Perry Farrell's got an injury, and they're having to cancel some shows. Boy, we've seen a lot of weird stuff happening this year with injuries and cancellations and just all out
well, it just goes
craziness.
to what we were just talking about. I mean, obviously they're up there in age as well, and injuries happen, and shows get canceled. So they had canceled. You got the story there, like 4 or 5 shows. I think mostly on the East Coast. But this is on the heels too. Dave Navarro. Remember, Dave Navarro couldn't make the tour because of
COVID, long
COVID.
COVID, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like long term COVID. So they grabbed a guy from Queens of the Stone Age, and he's been filling in. And now Perry Farrell, which is a play on words, peripheral. That's how I got his
Bah,
name.
the
But
original, the inventor of what?
Lollapalooza, yeah,
Lollapalooza. Yeah,
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 he's the
yeah.
originator of that. So
Well,
uh,
it says
Jane's
here,
Addiction kind of a quirky kind of band, man. I always kind of dug them, but they were, you can't really pigeonhole them. What kind of band are they? Or what's their
right.
genre?
Well,
But
it says, oh, duh. Here we go. It says, he suffered an injury, but he doesn't say what kind of injury it is. It just says, he's been in pain and discomfort. He's been receiving rigorous physiotherapy
yeah,
that has done wonders, but he doesn't say what the injury is. But
yeah,
like you say,
I
at
couldn't
our
find
age,
out what it was either.
geez, who knows? It could be a ton of things. So Perry Farrell out, man. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, it seems like he keeps in shape and stuff, but like we said, father time catches up to all of us. So who
sure
knows?
does. And if you recall, we were talking about how Zach Wild is doing some Pantera, I guess, tribute stuff. And apparently it's going to be going over pretty good down there in Chile because they had booked a 5,400 seat stadium to play their gig with, and they immediately realized they screwed up and they rebooked into a 17,000 seat arena. So apparently this is going to go over good down there in Chile. Maybe that's a forebearer of things to come on the rest of their tour.
Well, two thoughts come to mind when I see that story. First of all, do you really think 54 100 a stadium 50 what, right 5,400
5,400.
seats? What
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Yeah, Pantera. I don't know what the culture is in Chile on Pantera, but I would think 5,400. Yeah, So, but now they're going to 17,000, which is a pretty good leap there.
Yeah.
And do they run the danger of not selling that out? And playing to a half a house? So probably not. They'll probably sell it out. But
Well, that's a good call. They probably took the
they got
5,400.
they got Sepultura. If I'm pronouncing their name right, I always get
Right.
that messed up.
Sepultura. Yeah.
They're on the band. They're on the bill with them. So obviously, very popular in that part of the country. Or that part of the world, I should say. So you would think 17,000 wouldn't be a problem.
Well, I'm thinking they
We'll
booked
see.
the 5,400 just to put the feelers out there, and once they realize, well, you might as well go to the original choice, the big one. Put the feelers out there with the smaller venue to see what happens, and boom. But yeah. Phil and Anselmo, original singer, Rex Brown, bassist. He's gonna be going with Zach Wild and Charlie Bernani. So more power to him. It should be interesting. I'm sure with Zach Wild.
Yeah, I haven't heard on any dates in the U.S. yet. It's all down in South America, but I'm sure there will be. I know there will be.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to see what happens. Hopefully they're part of I'm just looking forward to next year's schedule, dude. That's all I can say. I
Right.
can't wait. Oh, we got another super group in the making here, man. We got Judas Priest members, Pantera members, and Rainbow members to form a group called Elegant Weapons. I thought that's a pretty bizarre name myself, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
Right
all
there.
the good ones have been taken.
I
Kind of take
guess.
what you can get at this point.
Yeah. So they have Richie Faulkner, legendary survivor of major heart problems. Man, he's such a legend. He's just the way he survived that. He still finished a song while having major heart situations. That just blows me around.
Oh,
Blows
that's
me
right.
away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he shouldn't be here,
I
man.
do
He's
remember
like a
that.
10% chance of survival, that shit, and he made it. So the bassist Rex Brown from Pantera, drummer Scott Travis from Judas Priest, and singer Ronnie Romero from Rainbow. They're going to be putting out a debut album, Horns for a Halo, produced by Andy Sneap, who has been one of the fill-in guitarists for Judas Priest on tour. Besides
Okay.
Richie Faulkner, he's the other guitarist. That's over
Okay.
there on the other side. Yeah, he produced. He's a
Taking
producer.
Glenn's spot. Yeah.
Yeah, he produced Megadeth
Uh,
and all that stuff. So,
I don't know what jumps out to me in this is Rex Brown's part of this. Don't you have enough going on with the Pantera thing going? I mean,
well, I thought that too with Ricky Fox, Richie and Scott with Judas Priest. I mean, aren't they?
yeah.
Wow, they're somehow
And we had
finding a way.
reported, I don't know, it's going back maybe a couple months. Even Ronnie Romero with Rainbow. Remember Jolyn Turner had said some words, and I'm not sure what their touring situation is, but it seems like
Wow,
every member of this band has got stuff going on. So it just seems odd that they would, look to do something else. But who knows? Who
unreal.
knows how it came together?
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure Eddie Trunk knows. Eddie Trunk knows how it came together. We'll have to check out Eddie Trunk. Maybe he
Eddie
can fill some.
Trunk, yes. But yeah, good for them. See if we got some good hard rock and roll coming out. Nothing wrong with that. So let's see what they do. They sure got a nucleus for some good stuff. So come on, guys. Don't disappoint. Don't disappoint. We'll talk about a little new music coming up here real quickly. Uh, yeah. Former Journey singer Steve Perry. Have you seen this? This is crazy. Coming out with a holiday record. Unbelievable. Well, what the heck? He's done with Journey, obviously, according to our last
Obviously, yeah.
show. Yeah, that's sort of done with, but and I don't mind this at all. Here, from the good folks at Blabbermouth, of course, the good folks at Blabbermouth. Former Journey singer Steve Perry is returning with the deluxe edition of the season, an exquisitely curated holiday album that reveals him as a flawless interpreter of the classic Christmas Christmas songbook. It's amazing. So yeah, he's doing a bunch of
Yeah, I think he's
holiday
always kind of
classics.
seen himself as a crooner. I think he's always wanted to be kind of that old school kind of crooner guy. And even coming in the Journey, he brought the ballads, the Journey and stuff, doing that stuff. So, yeah, why not?
Yeah, he's doing maybe this Christmas. I'll be home for Christmas. All Lang Syne, Winter Wonderland. What are you
Right,
doing?
right, right.
What are you doing New Year's Eve? Santa Claus is coming to town. Obviously, everybody got to do that. Silver bells and have yourself a merry little Christmas. What the heck? We'll see how he does it.
There you go. Yeah.
But why not? Everybody else is doing crazy cool stuff.
We'll be
So
hearing it throughout the shops and whatnot as we do our Christmas shopping.
yeah,
I'm sure they'll have
what's her name with what's that chick singer with the big song, the Christmas song?
Mariah Carey.
But yeah, she makes millions and millions
Yeah,
and millions every
yeah,
year off of that song. There's no
yeah,
justice in the world.
yeah. Well, I think everybody's tired of the old ones. Time for some new Christmas
Yeah,
songs, I
well,
suppose.
that's true
Whatever.
too. Speaking of old, Robert Fripp, everybody knows it. King Crimson, Robert Fripp, legendary guitarist, crazy man, weirdo, the whole kit and caboodle here. He's been posting ever since the pandemic started up. Him and his wife, Toya Wilcox, they've been posting weird videos of him doing renditions of rock standards, everything from AC/DC, just every old thing. And he recently commented on some of the hardcore King Crimson fans getting upset about this. How dare they do that? And he just basically says, at the age of 76, why should I give an F? He quips, although, of course, I'm changing the F to what it was, but my wife insists performers have a responsibility to lift people's spirits in hard times, he says. Do I respect that? My answer is yes. Completely and utterly I do. So he don't give
Well, sure,
people
yeah,
an F.
yeah.
What he can do what the hell he wants. I wonder what the hell he's worth. He's probably worth an arm and a leg, man. He's worth a ton of money. Why not just screw around? I mean,
Well, yeah, I think it was just, like you said, kind of stemmed from just being locked up and locked down and COVID, and
it was probably the Twitter bunch. The Twitter mob probably came after him. The Twitter
there's
mob's
always, no
a
matter
horrible thing.
what you do, yeah, no matter what you do, there's somebody that's gonna, hate on it. So, more power to him. And just from doing this show and talking about it, I started following him on social media. And yeah, he's quite interesting, man.
He's really something. There's a movie out about King Crimson right now playing around it. I will eventually get around to seeing. I don't think it's been around here. I'm not sure, but he's quite an odd character. But let him do what the heck they want. He'll be out on tour. So I'm not surprised he's not on tour already. I wonder what's going on with that, because he's one of these Alice Cooper types who's always touring. He lives to tour. So I gotta imagine.
Well, I think we talked about that on another episode where when he does that, he's tunnel vision, man. He's all about the tour, and that's all that exists in the world to him is just making that as best as he can. So
yeah, right.
Sure, it takes a lot out of him when he does do it, but it's probably all he knows. Just
sure, and from doing goofy stuff with the wife, it was quite well.
There's worse ways to go, I suppose. Yeah,
she's interesting indeed. And next up, I got a problem with this one. Legendary punk rock singer Patti Smith. She's had, jeez, this is really something. Married to the late great Fred Sonic Smith of MC5 fame,
yeah, that's
and
right.
they were. She's been one of her songs has been quietly removed from the streaming services.
All of them, pretty much, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Spotify, Amazon, all of them, yeah.
And the song was called "Rock and Roll N-Word," and everybody's also well, who knows who offended? It could have been two people. It could have been two people on a Twitter mob complaining about it. And I'm thinking, well, number one, this is history, and you never erase history because you need to remember history to learn from it. You need to, drop in all the statues and whatnot around the nation. You can't do that. You have to remember history. That's why it's there. And I totally disagree with this. Number one, like I say, it's a historical song. And they dropped her whole catalog, is what you're saying?
No, just this song, I believe.
Okay, but that's ridiculous, and you know why?
Well, this is the thing with Patti Smith, fabulous artist, and she puts the rock and roll N-word. We'll put it that way. Of course, she doesn't say N-word, but it's not meant. She's very poetic, very artistic. It's used in a way. If you're not familiar with the song, please listen to it. I mean. That word's been used that way in other songs. Elvis Costello, Oliver's Army, kind of use it the same way. And I don't know, it'd be interesting to see if that song's still on there. But it's a great album. It's on the Easter album. It's probably her biggest selling album. It's got Because the Night.
Right.
Her most famous song, anyways, on there.
Sure. Yeah.
So I guess my point would be, okay, she uses that word. This is 1979. I want to say this came out. And since then, how many rap songs have used that word?
Right. Yep.
and they're not pulled. So, kind of the double standard. We try not to get too political on the show here, but definitely a double standard here going on. And I don't even know if it was somebody complaining. It may have just been a preemptive
Algorithm.
kind of thing. On
Could have been an algorithm for crying out loud.
Yeah. Who knows? But like I said, the fact that it's just been quietly, they didn't want to make a big deal about it, and you can see, that's the way those kind of people work, man. It's just
Little
kinda,
by little, man.
just push and and see what they can get away with, and so
And they got away with
I
it.
suggest y'all go out and buy the Patti Smith CD. It's a fabulous CD. Highly recommend it, and hear it for yourself.
Wow, that's really something.
I don't know. Can you still even? I don't even know if it's still on YouTube.
I haven't even checked. I don't know.
I haven't checked either, but probably.
But go check for them
is.
rap songs, man. They won't be anywhere. You can guarantee that.
No.
Jeez,
So,
unbelievable.
bit of a double standard, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh, Jerry. Yeah, apparently they I don't know how this came about, man. There he is. Yeah, geez. They found a major piece of Jerry Garcia's past, a 30-year-old pipe that was wedged behind a bed in Merle Sanders' San Francisco house. Apparently,
Good old Merle.
They found one of Jerry Garcia's old pipes, and the the big revelation was that, and it still smells like marijuana. Well, I'm thinking, what the hell's it gonna smell like? I mean, geez, that's pretty kooky. What an odd little story to come out, about Jerry, about the man, the myth. Jeez, look at here. He's looking
it was
at
like
that.
was Wes behind his bed or something. This guy hasn't moved his bed 30 years or whatever.
Wow, look at that picture of him. He's wondering right at that on that picture. He's wondering, where the hell did I leave my pipe?
Man,
you can tell. Look at that picture.
pipe, right?
Where the hell is that damn pipe?
Man,
You're thinking about that right now.
That's a good pipe, man. I guess it was like a homemade, handcrafted kind of
specialty
pipe,
made.
Like we all did back in the day. Yeah. That's hilarious, man.
So there you go, Jerry. Good call on that.
Well, I'm sure it'll show up on eBay or some auctioning some kind of way or something.
eBay.
I remember. Oh God, this is going back a few years now. But John Lennon's stash box, went up for auction.
Really?
I thought that was pretty cool. But
oh man,
how cool would it be to have Jerry Garcia's pipe, man? That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I would be very excited about that. Actually, it looked like a nice pipe there. I tried to pull up a picture, but I couldn't get it in the right format to work. So, but yeah, that's a nice looking thing. Looks functional nonetheless. That's all that's important. All right, and coming up, we talked about Nita Strauss quite a bit.
Right.
Quite honestly, Alice Cooper's former guitarist who went out on her own doing her thing, and she's putting out some solo material. Where is she? There she is, right there. Whoa, Nita, and it's very cool. She recruited Alicia White Glues to sing, who's really quite something else. She's the singer of Arch Enemy. Let me get her picture up here. She's
okay.
Where are you there?
Yeah, Nita's got all kinds of stuff going on, man. Solo stuff.
There's Alicia right there. I mean, she's badass. Got the blue hair. A vegetarian. Her boyfriend, I believe, is what did you say? No, his Doyle von Frankenstein. Is that right?
From the Misfits. Yeah.
I believe that is her boyfriend. They're both vegans, which I find horrifying and disgusting. But nonetheless, she's not only is she a looker and a ass kicking rocker, but she's got a great voice. The only problem is, Doc, and you brought this to my attention when I tried to turn you on to some Meshuggah, and being Doc Vox, the doctor of the voice, you did not approve of the hollering singer of Meshuggah. And so you may not approve of this because and in this video they did, the wolf you feed, uh, Alicia does,
Okay.
she's got a great female singing voice, but she also does the hardcore screaming shit that you
The
don't
guttural
like. And I
shit.
don't,
Yeah,
the gut,
yeah,
and that I really don't like either,
yeah.
and it's a
Yeah,
shame because she's
yeah.
got such a great voice. But they put out a single out there and it kicks booty. I checked it out
Yeah,
and
I'm not sure why that's popular, man. I don't know. I guess every generation wants to do something more extreme than the last, but yeah, I
yeah,
don't know.
I just as soon have a good rock song. That's all.
Yeah.
Don't need all the technical crap. Just a good beat,
I think
good
the
chord.
first time I heard that was what was that Drowning Pool song? Bodies hit the floor, or whatever. It was the first
Let
time
the
I remember
bodies hit the floor.
yeah,
Let the
the
bodies hit the floor.
or that
Yeah, yeah.
growling, so but yeah, I don't know why that's popular, but not popular in my
Yeah, because
book.
I
So
can understand the words anyway. I don't understand any of the damn words with sugar, but the music's just so amazing that as a musician, I just find it fascinating with polyrhythms and whatnot. So, nonetheless, next up,
I can dig
okay,
that.
okay, now this totally destroyed. I had no idea. Where is he? Where is he? There he is, the legend right there. There he is, Jimi Hendrix, of course. I had no idea, but Roger Mayer, him and Hendrix were tight as ticks back in the day, and he came out with the fact that when they laid down the leads to Purple Haze, the legendary song that
Oh yeah.
everybody knows.
Oh yeah.
I I grew up on Hendrix. I can't believe it, but
Well, I know you're a huge Hendrix guy, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was not done. The leads were not done on a Stratocaster; they were done on a Telecaster. Here's the story. Okay, according to Roger Mayer, and he would know. He said he only had one guitar to gig, the Strat he was using, and he'd just broken it. Said Mayer. So on the way to Olympic to record the tracks, we had to dispatch Noel Redding off to get another one. I went to my own car. Jimmy went with Jerry Stickles, and Noel went off in a taxi to get another guitar. The guitar in question was a butterscotch blonde Fender Telecaster, with Mayer commenting, the Purple Haze solos were played on the upper part of the neck, and Jimmy wasn't intending on using a vibrato, so it didn't matter that it was a Telecaster. The sound of a Tele on the bridge pickup is similar to a Stratocaster in many ways. I mean, it's not worlds apart if you're playing in the upper register. Plus, with the effects Jimmy was using, it would have been impossible to tell the difference. Unfortunately, there are no photographs of the solo recording session, so we'll just have to close your eyes and imagine it. In other words, yeah, that's amazing that he actually used a Telecaster. And, in the same vein, everybody always sees Jimmy Page with a Les Paul, but those early albums were made with a Fender Telecaster. He had that wild looking Fender Telecaster that he played from the Yardbirds into Led Zeppelin. So the Telecaster, hey folks, it it has more meaning in the rock world
More
than a
range,
lot of
yeah.
folks know, which is that's very cool. That blew me away. I just found that out last week, for crying out loud, and I'm
You're
I'm
such a
old.
guitar nerd, man. You're like
I'm
such a
old.
guitar. I'm sure like 90% of people are like Telecaster,
Who cares?
Stratocaster,
Yeah, who
whatever,
cares? But the
whatever.
guitarists know that's amazing.
But you're like, like they just told you Santa Claus doesn't exist, man. You're
Wow.
just like blown away, man. You're just like,
Oh, that is so cool, though. That is just crazy cool. Roger Mayer, he made the octave, octave, Octavius pedal for Hendrix that made all them crazy effects. That's who Roger Mayer was. Anyway, so here we go, man. We had a sudden death this week. Well, we were sort of
yeah.
not surprised about it. Lay it on us, Doc.
Yeah, lost one of the greats, one of the pioneers, man. The killer, Jerry Lee Lewis, 87 years old. So definitely not a spring chicken by any means, but he's the last. He's the last of the pioneers, man.
Yeah, he
Um,
is.
and one of the more colorful guys in rock history, man. He's got quite a story. I don't know, many you probably saw the movie Great Balls of Fire with Dennis Quaid.
Sure.
And and yeah, he's even wilder than that, man. He's to me, he's the first punk, man. And I mean, obviously that term wasn't used back then or even thought of, but he's the guy that had that punk spirit in rock and roll, man. And he always claimed that he's the true king of rock and roll. And, in a lot of ways he was. He wasn't the most popular by any means. Elvis certainly was, or even Chuck Berry was more popular, but but
man.
as far as the spirit and having that rock and roll,
being on the edge,
anarchy and just all that. I mean, he's the guy. He's the guy. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Got a few usually you kind of find the greatest hits.
There you go.
Compilation somewhere. Got a couple on vinyl. So I like to show off my collection when I can. So
sure.
Here's one. It went country for a while after rock and roll. We'll get more into that. And then he kind of made a return a little bit. Kind of did some of the old classics. But you may also remember he was part of the $1 Million Quartet.
Yeah,
remember,
that's a great story.
They've had didn't they do like a Broadway kind of thing on that or something?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Before them, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, Elvis, and Jerry Lee. But I was lucky enough to see him. I saw him he was 82 when I saw him, so I guess about 5 years ago. And obviously he wasn't, kicking over the stool and jumping up on the piano and shit like that, but he did in the old days. But it was very cool to see him, man. Very, very cool to see him. It was at Riot Fest, and usually I go alone to that because nobody really likes to go to those kind of things with me. But my brother went with me to that one, and I remember him kind of telling me, just you know the lay of the land, just whatever, just get us up as close as you can for Jerry Lee. And we were 3 deep off the rail, man. We were right up there. So
dig that.
So yeah, it came out. It's got a 3-piece band behind him. Guitar, bass, and drums.
Mm-hmm.
And he had Kenny Aronoff. You may remember. He's been around. He's played with a ton of people. And, he's mainly with John Mellencamp in the early days, but he was playing with him. And just the 3 of them did some country standards kind of. They did, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 songs like that, and then he came out and did all his classics. It was very cool, man. But,
absolutely.
One of the OGs, man, for sure.
Original gangster for sure. Yeah, his songs, whole lot of shaking going on. Are you kidding me? Great Balls of Fire, Breathless. I mean, those were He was he was definitely a bad boy back then. A real crazy on the edge player. Totally crazy cool. That's why they called him the Killer. He was the killer.
So a lot of people probably know his cousins were Mickey Gilley and Jimmy Swaggart, the country artist and preacher, respectively. So there was a lot of even in the movie. I think Alec Baldwin played Jimmy Swaggart, if I remember right. And there was a lot of conflict there, and there was a lot of conflict like that through his whole life. He was brought up very religious. And wanted to do be a good Christian, and you see interviews with him. I mean, he knows the Bible inside out and backwards, man. I mean, he just but then there's this part of him that wants to play the devil music, and he's, like Johnny Hook, you say it's in him and it's got to come out, man.
Oh boy!
So that's kind of the way he went, man, and just kind of lived his life as a hellraiser, man. Had his bouts with alcoholism. Was married 7 times, and of course, most famously to his 13-year-old cousin that we all know about there. But man, just a rebel to the bone, man. A rebel's rebel, man.
Yeah, and, he really got in trouble with that marriage. He was 22 when he married. His cousin was 13. He told everybody she was 15. They found that out over in Heathrow. He was over in England when they found that out. And oh boy, that didn't sit well. Well, obviously, geez, of course it didn't sit well. Holy cow.
Well, initially when they asked him, he said 15, thinking that would be acceptable, and then they were like, and then the headlines come out, his child bride of 15, blah, blah. And then the next day it was, 13. And then the next day, oh, it's a second cousin, and it was like, oh my gosh, this guy's just, yeah. But then they thought when they came back that they would be accepted. We'll go back home, back to the U.S. And no, it didn't work out that way at all, man. Nobody. No, there's songs that were off the radio. He went from playing $10,000 a night to $200 a night, man. He just but you know what? That's a true musician. That's why he's the true spirit of rock and roll. He just stuck with it, man. He stuck with it. A lot of people after that might have, who knows what they do. He's from Faraday, Louisiana, wherever they do down there,
you mentioned the Million Dollar Quartet. Let me expound on that a little bit.
Sure.
On December 4th, 1956, that was the year I was born, man. December 4th, 1956, Elvis Presley dropped in on Sam Phillips, just paying a visit to the studio when Perkins was in the studio. Carl Perkins in the studio cutting new tracks with Jerry Lee Lewis backing him on piano. And I'll be darned, who wasn't there watching? Johnny Cash. So the four then started an impromptu jam session, and Phillips left the tape running. Holy cow. There you go.
Yeah, if you listen to this CD, there's not like full form songs at all.
Right.
It's just an open jam session, and a lot of talking. They're doing like a lot of old gospel stuff.
Gospel songs, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just they're all over the place. It's very cool to listen to. It's history, man. It really is history.
Yeah. Tracks included Elvis's "Don't Be Cruel," "Paralyzed," and Chuck Berry's "Brown-Eyed Handsome Man," and Pat Boone's "Don't Forbid Me." I mean, how cool was that to have them four in there?
And just start doing whatever they felt like doing, and just yeah.
How cool is that? Very, there you go. That's one of the cool things that happened. But just a legend. Jeez, he's one of the last. I think he's the last. He was the last surviving member of the inaugural class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I'm sure.
So that's it. Jeez. We've seen some classics, man. Just this year, we've seen some classics. Brian Williams.
People, you remember a good one to watch him back in the day is when he was on Steve Allen's show.
Yeah.
And he gets it going pretty good. Of course, Steve Allen's kind of mocking him, to him, this crazy rock and roll stuff will never last, He's one of those kind of guys. But it's a pretty good performance. And of course, the movie that's on him, and there's documentaries. If you can see any interviews with him, I suggest watching them. Very entertaining. He's like I said, quite a colorful character, man.
No doubt. Well,
I thought it was interesting too. A whole lot of shaking came out that was on the top of the pop charts, the country charts, and the R&B charts.
Wow. How about that? That says a lot right there. Jeez. Boy. Got 6 kids during his marriage. I don't know how many of them are still hanging in there, but a lot of wives, a lot of those had to be crazy times. The birth of rock and roll, Jiminy Creepers. That'd be so cool. So
I always thought too, okay, so here he marries his 13-year-old cousin, and he wasn't even divorced from that was his third marriage. That was his third marriage already. Yeah. So he wasn't even divorced from his second wife yet.
Oh, boy.
So that marriage wasn't, legal. It wasn't, I suppose. So in a total act of defiance, he goes and remarries her. All the shit that came down, everything that he lost. Yep, I'm gonna remarry her. He had an out. You know what I mean? He had an out. He could have I was divorced. All right, that was a close one. I guess the damage would have, been done to a certain extent, but
oh man, what a rebel!
I'm not sure. Obviously, publicists weren't to the level they are these days, but he may be able to find a good publicist to kind of.
Wow.
I don't know, but
that is.
But and then he says, "Oh, no, we're gonna get married." Yeah, and then the thing was, they were married through the '60s. I think they divorced in the early '70s. They were married about 13 years.
Wow.
And to lose her, after all. And did fairly well in country, so I don't think he was ever really starving. He probably had some lean times there, but like I said, true
They all
spirit of
did.
rock and roll, man. True spirit of rock and roll.
Yep. Well, yeah, more power to him, man. Gave us a hell of a music genre. So sure can't complain there. One of the original Wild Men. And definitely check out the movie with Quaid. Dennis
Yeah.
Quaid? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does a really good job at that. So freaking A, man. Well there, Doc, you're gonna have munchkins running up to the door for a little while,
Yeah, they'll be knocking any moment.
demanding
Yeah.
treats. Demanding treats from us, or else there'll be tricks going on. There'll be toilet paper in the trees and whatnot. So we'll have to get out. And do
I
our
like
thing.
to give out for Halloween. I'll just get a skillet of scrambled eggs, and I'll just sit there with a spatula and just flip scrambled eggs in their little
They
bag.
run away screaming. Yeah.
Send them
You're
on
the
their way.
bad one. You're the
Yeah.
bad one. Eat the bad one in the
There's nothing wrong with
neighborhood.
scrambled eggs. I would love scrambled eggs. Good.
Oh man, outstanding. Well, hey, thanks a lot, folks, for checking in again. Episode 31. We sure appreciate it. If you can, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Check us out on Spotify and all the other platforms where podcasts are available, and we sure do appreciate it. But we'll see you next week with more. Lord knows what's going to be coming up in the news situation, because it's always growing. There's always something going on. So
Always something.
we'll be talking to you next week. So thanks for joining me again, Doc.
Oh yeah. So thanks to everybody that's been watching. Really, we wouldn't be doing this without you. So we greatly appreciate it. Love to hug and kiss each and every one of you.
Oh,
And please tell a friend, and smash that subscribe button for those of you that haven't already. Please support us. We would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, until then, have a great rock and roll filled week, and we will see you next time.